students. I just really did not like how things went today as far as the summary is concerned. So I just kind of wanted a little quick do-over. I'm going to quickly kind of go over the couple of things that I did not think I did well. So watch this, don't watch it. It's up to you guys. So here we started there. I'm going to go back over the recap and stuff later. I'll put those on the assignments. Our instructions. Let me go ahead and go to summary. I wanted to show you I think there was the purple slide, and that was sort of my template that I wanted all of us to kind of do together. And so it was supposed to be like in the Google Doc that we were going to do this. So I'm going to actually take a minute or two to go over how you might want to do this. So I'm here on that purple slide, and I'm going to go over here to our in-class summary example. And if you look on there, I need to double space this also so we kind of get an idea. Okay, so here we are on the two different like introductory sentences that I wrote. So this is what you're going to want to put like Taya Miles in the article Pecan Pioneer. I just wanted to show you guys that that's all capitalized and where it was originally published, and that you want to choose a strong verb like acknowledges the contributions of many African Americans to the United States, such as an enslaved person and horticulturalist named Antoine, right? So that's a good place to start. And then the same one I did for Ben Adler in the article, blah, blah, blah. All right. So as we go forward, here was sort of the template that I put together. So right here, you're going to want to put in the name of the author. And so that would be either Ben Adler or Taya Miles, right? And we're going to put that, the whole thing that we just said. And then the author, like the main idea, etc. And then you're gonna move forward to like that next point. So this would be like the second point, right? So one main idea, I should say idea, of the author. So you would say, the author indicates, talks about, something like that, the idea that, and including one of those ideas from the article. And I think the easiest way to do this is for me to probably just do it. So first here, I'm going to do the Ben Adler's banning plastic bags, just because I did that one earlier or right away, and so I won't have to review. And then you can fast forward if you did the Pecan Pioneer, okay? Or Pecan, I don't know which one you say. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and copy this, and I'm going to start that out right here. It's the first part of this, okay? I'm going to actually copy and paste that in there, all right? And then I'm going to say he emphasizes that in some cases, plastic bag bans do more harm than good, sometimes causing more pollution and environmental destruction. Okay, so that would be like my first or second main idea, right? And so then it says the author and another verb, and it has another main idea. Okay, I'll put destruction. The author also discusses, let's just say, we'll choose maybe discusses, the idea that, let's see, what else does he? That reusable bags such as cotton totes, right? So that also discusses the idea that reusable bags like cotton totes can be just as let's see, eco-unfriendly, maybe, ecologically unfriendly as plastic bags. He continues, and I'm going to just use focus, to focus on this idea by saying that, and what could we say? That he, let's see, is another main idea, that our other choices make a lot more difference than what we choose to put our groceries in. And he, in fact, concludes, because that was like his last thing, that what we put on our dinner table, see how I'm not saying the exact same words, is more important to environmental conservation than plastic bags. Right. Okay, and so then I could say with this, the author makes it clear, and you know, that I can just kind of say that plastic bag bans are complicated. Okay. And so we kind of have that whole thing that kind of works. Concludes that plastic bag bans are complicated. The end. Okay, so I took that template that I had created for you guys, and I created an actual summary right here for the Ben Adler article. So kind of hopefully gave you a little bit better idea. That's what it should have looked like. I think what I'm going to do is put this up there on the slides, and I'm actually going to now do the other article for you guys. Okay, so now I am going to look at the Pecan Pioneer. And I actually wish that I had saved this article for something else, because I don't know. I think it's a little bit more difficult to do. So if you guys are seeing this, you are welcome to kind of take and use for mine. So what I did is I kind of jotted down some of the ideas that I got from the text. And then one of the things that I did to kind of wrap it up is I kind of implied what I think the author is thinking there at the end, just to give it a little bit more color and for it to kind of go in the direction that I think I would start taking a paper if I was going to write about this later on as a response. Okay. So I would come, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually copy this first sentence that we already did. Okay. So I'm going to copy it and I'm going to paste it in here. Right. And that's our horticulturist, enslaved man, Antoine. And then the first thing that I thought was important, one of the first main ideas, is the indigenous people. And I would say something like the author maybe informs, right? Informs the reader that, you know, indigenous people had gathered from these and harvested from these pecan trees for centuries. So I'm going to throw that in there. I would parse it from pecan trees. And I'm going to write pecan, even though I know that they say in the text pecana or something that the Native Americans used to say. And then I would put in something like about how the whites tried to cultivate them. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say something like, you know, the author continues by detailing how whites encountered these trees and tried to cultivate them, right? And then I'm probably going to throw in a quote. I do not usually throw in quotes. Quotes are kind of taboo. They're sort of unacceptable to put into summaries because you're not, especially like those very short summaries like that, because you're not really looking to quote with details. But here I think this is really important. So I'm actually going to throw it in there as part of my detail or part of my my summary. Okay, so here I am. Task was handed over to Okay, so I'm gonna talk about then about how he turned over the impossible work to an enslaved person. So I'm gonna throw that in there where they talk about how they cultivated it. And with this, the author makes it a point, I'm gonna say a point, um, to clarify that a white farmer and slave owner trying to cultivate the trees for market, quote, um, turned the impossible work over to an enslaved person. Right? The article says that that's often done, right? Or often was done. And I think, we all know that those people did not get the credit that they deserved. Let's see, cultivate the trees. All right. Here we go. Return enslaved person. And then that Antoine managed to cultivate those trees, and that not only did they survive, but they thrived, right? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to throw that in here. Antoine, the slave in charge of grafting the trees, managed to cultivate them until it survived. And I kind of continued with the rest of this here. All right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stick this on, and then I'm going to show you guys how I kind of concluded this. So I kind of continued on. I said, by the 1870s, then that's where being exhibited in the World's Fair, but no one mentioned Antoine and his patience, persistence, and gift for horticulture. The author leaves the reader to wonder. So this is how I concluded it, thinking that this is sort of what the author's implying. So I kind of put that in there. I am taking kind of a risk because it does border on bias, because the author doesn't 100% say that. But I think that if this was where I was planning on going with my paper, this would work. So I said the author leaves the reader to wonder how many more histories like Antoine's have been lost to time or claimed by white people. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to throw a tab in there. Hopefully that helps a little bit. I will send this along with the videos for you guys. And with that, I will see you guys online and in class on Thursday.